CIET NCERT presents the audiobook Exploring Society, India and Beyond, textbook of social science for class 6.
Chapter 10 Grassroots Democracy Part 1 Governance Page 149 Rajanam dharmagoptaram dharmo rakshati rakshitah. The ruler protects dharma and dharma protects those who protect it. The Mahabharata. There is no peace without justice, no justice without equality, no equality without development, no democracy without respect to the identity and dignity of cultures and peoples. Rigoberta Menchu Tum. Here we have a picture which is like a collage demonstrating some words we will come across in this chapter. Words like governance, democracy, assembly, law, legislature, executive, Lok Sabha, parliament, judiciary, and so on. Now come the big questions. 1. What is the meaning of governance? 2. Why do we need a government? 3. What is the meaning of democracy? Why is it important? Page 150. Introduction. Human beings have been living in communities for a long time. When a large number of people live together, there can be disagreements and disorder, and rules become necessary to maintain order and harmony in the society. There are probably some simple rules at home that you are expected to follow. The school where you study has rules too, some for students, others for teachers. In higher classes, students appearing for examinations must follow certain rules. Drivers on the road are expected to obey traffic rules. People employed in all kinds of jobs also need to follow the rules set by their employer, while the employers must also follow rules which they have committed to their employees. What would happen if no one followed those rules? A simple answer is that society would not be able to function. Let's explore. Describe the two pictures given in figure 10.1 on page 151. What differences do you see between them? How do you connect this with our discussion on rules? What are some of the rules in your school? Who made them? Who makes the rules and why? How are they made? These are some of the questions we will explore in this chapter. The process of taking decisions, organizing the society's life with different sets of rules, and ensuring that they are followed is called governance. The group of individuals or the system that makes the rules and ensures that they are followed is called a government. Some of the more important rules are called laws. This does not mean that rules and laws are set once and for all. Just as you might discuss a particular rule at home with your parents, or as a student body might ask the school or university management to change a rule, citizens also have a say in the laws and rules governing the society. Page 151. We will see how this takes place. Here on the page we have figure 10.1, which shows two pictures of the same identical place. It's a traffic signal on a crossroad. In the top picture we see perfect order and harmony as everyone is following the traffic signals and other rules. The vehicles are moving in harmony. The pedestrians are also having a safe time. In the picture below we see total chaos. No one cares about the rules. The vehicles are stationary, endangering the pedestrians who have also come upon the road, where other cyclists and people are also posing a threat. Very insecure situation because of not following the rules. Page 152. Here on the entire page we have figure 10.2, which showcases the categories of public service and other activities through a collage of 10 pictures. We see many professionals in action, including the army, the doctors, rescue people, traffic personnel, law people, teachers, postmen, bank people, etc. Page 153. Let's explore. Can you identify the categories of public service or other activities that are represented in the 10 pictures in figure 10.2 on page 152? What role do you think the government plays in each of these activities? Can you think of other aspects of your daily life where the government plays an important role? 3 organs of government. All over the world, digital technologies have been transforming the way societies function. In India, till about 30 years ago, people who wanted to transfer money to a distant relative would have to queue up at the post office to send a money order after filling up a form. Or if they had to send a payment to some business, they would queue up at their bank to obtain a demand draft, which would then have to be sent by post. You have probably never heard these terms, money order or demand draft, because today we have digital means of sending across money instantly. However, this has also created a new class of criminals who, without even leaving their desks, find digital ways of stealing people's money. This has led many governments to pass new laws in order to fight such criminal activities called cybercrime. Some of those criminals who believe in robbing innocent people of their hard-earned money instead of using their skills to contribute to the society have been arrested and convicted in court. They are usually fined as well as jailed for some years. Through this example, we can see how the 3 branches or organs of a government work together. The legislature is the organ that makes new laws or legislates. Sometimes it also updates or removes existing laws. Page 154. This is done by an assembly of representatives of the people. We will soon see how the Indian system works. The executive is the organ that implements or executes the laws. This includes the head of state, who may be a president, a prime minister, or a chief minister, the ministers, and any agency responsible for enforcing law and order. In our example above, that agency is the cyber police. The judiciary is the system of courts which decides whether someone has broken the law and, if so, what course of action should be taken, including punishment if necessary. Sometimes it also examines whether a decision taken by the executive is right or whether a law passed by the legislature is well conceived and fair to all. Let's explain how the 3 government organs are at work in the case of the cyber criminals described above. How do they intervene? In any good system of governance, these 3 organs must be kept separate, although they interact with each other and work together. This separation is called the separation of powers. Refer to figure 10.3. It is intended to provide a system of checks and balances. This means that each organ of the government can check what the other is doing and restore balance if one organ acts beyond its expected role. In figure 10.3 on the right of the page, we see the separation of powers model. Governance is the pivot of this wheel, where legislature, judiciary, and executive are its 3 organs. Page 155. Let's explore. As a class activity, can you imagine the sort of disorder we might witness if all 3 organs were under the control of the same group of people? Can you describe any such real-life situation you may have heard of? 3 levels of government. Any government operates at 2 levels at the least, local and national. In many countries, including India, it functions at 3 levels or tiers, local, state or regional, and national. Each level deals with different matters. To use a comparison, if a bulb in your home is not lighting up, you will first check the bulb, switch, fuse, etc. If that does not work, you may call an electrician, and if it is found that the problem is not within your home, you may need to go to the electricity board and file a complaint. These are also 3 levels of dealing with a problem. Figure 10.4 at the bottom of the page describes these 3 levels of the government: local government, state government, and central government. Local government works at the town or village level, state government at the state level, Central government at the national level. Page 156. In India, we have local governments, state governments, and central or union government. Figure 10.4 on page 155. Imagine that following heavy rain for a few days, there is a flood in a part of a district. If it is not too severe, the local authorities may be able to deal with it. If it involves several towns and many villages, the state government will step in and send rescue teams to help affected people. But if it's a massive flood affecting vast areas, the central government may also come to help by sending relief supplies, the army, etc. These are the three levels again. Don't miss out. Many of our institutions have mottos inspired by the wisdom of our ancient texts. The Government of India's motto, for example, is Satyameva Jayate, which means truth alone triumphs. The Supreme Court's motto is Yato Dharmas Tato Jayah, or where there is dharma, there is victory. The table on the facing page provides in summary a general framework of the main functions of the government's three organs at the national and state levels. Their details, including the precise role of the assemblies, will be studied in greater depth in grade 7. Local government is not mentioned here as we will look at it more closely in the next two chapters. Let's explore. Observe the table, figure 10.5. Highlight the functions and responsibilities that affect your life the most. Ask 2 or 3 adults about their connection or interaction with the government. At what levels does it take place and for what purpose? Page 157. Here we have figure 10.5, a table which explains to us the governance entities of different levels and the levels that they operate at. Judiciary, All India. Supreme Court of India. State level, High Court. Legislature, national level, 2 houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, formulate national laws. State level, 1 state assembly or Vidhan Sabha. Note that most states have a single assembly. A few states have 2. House is an assembly where laws are discussed or passed. Executive, central government, led by the President of India, nominal head and supreme commander of the Indian Armed Forces, Prime Minister as the executive head. State government, led by the governor, nominal head, Chief Minister as the executive head. Nominal, in name only. It means, in our case, that the President of India and the governor of a state are not the actual executive heads. They do have certain powers under special circumstances, but normally do not interfere in the affairs of the central or state government. Functions and responsibilities of the executive. The list is not exhaustive. Central government, defense, foreign affairs, atomic energy, communications, currency, interstate commerce, education, formulation of national policies. State government, police, law and order, adaptation and implementation of laws made by the central government at the state level, public health, education, agriculture, irrigation, local government. Page 158. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. On the left of the page at the top, we have a beautiful picture of Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. Born in a humble family in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu in 1931, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam was a renowned scientist nicknamed the Missile Man of India for his crucial role in the development of India's space program, missile program, and nuclear capabilities. Dr. Abdul Kalam served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. Despite his high status, he remained deeply connected to the people, and the youth in particular, through his passion for good education and innovation. He inspired millions with his humility, dedication to social causes, and commitment to the nation. He tirelessly encouraged young Indians to dream big and work hard to achieve their goals. Dr. Kalam showed that even though his position as the President of India was nominal, he could play an important role impacting countless lives. Let us meditate on a few of his inspiring thoughts. Look at the sky. We are not alone. The whole universe is friendly to us and conspires only to give the best to those who dream and work. To succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. If you fail, never give up, because fail, F-A-I-L, means first attempt in learning. End is not the end. In fact, E-N-D, end, means effort never dies. If you get no as an answer, remember, no. N-O means next opportunity. So let's be positive. Dream is not that which you see while sleeping. It is something that does not let you sleep. If four things are followed, having a great aim, acquiring knowledge, hard work, and perseverance, then anything can be achieved. Page 159. Democracy. You may have noticed that we earlier mentioned representatives of the people. This is one of the foundation stones of the system of governance adopted by most countries of the world, democracy. The word democracy comes from two Greek words, demos, meaning people, and kratos, meaning rule or power. So, democracy literally means the rule of the people. But can all people actually rule? It is clearly not possible. Imagine there is a problem that your class wants to bring to the attention of your school's principal. Maybe there is something wrong with the classroom or with the school's infrastructure, or perhaps you would like to propose a certain date for a field trip. Will the entire class go to the principal? It would clearly not be practical. In many schools, classes have a class monitor or class representative whom the class elected. Even if there is none, one representative can be selected for this specific purpose. It will be enough to send the representative to the principal. It is the same principle at the state or national levels. Through elections, people vote for representatives who will be the elected members of their respective assemblies. They are generally called members of Legislative Assembly or MLAs at the state level and Member of Parliament or MPs at the national level. All these members discuss laws, problems and solutions in the assemblies and, through dialogue and debate, try to convince each other whenever there are different opinions. At the bottom right of the page, we have the process of democracy in action. A person is casting his vote while the officials are busy conducting their work. Like any modern democracy, therefore, India is a representative democracy. It is also the world's largest democracy, with some 970 million voters in 2024. Page 160. In principle, all Indian citizens above the age of 18 have the right to participate in these elections. Imagine that your class is planning to go for a picnic. There are two possible places, A and B. The class discusses the pros and cons, distance, time, cost, availability of basic facilities, etc. It becomes difficult to arrive at a decision. So your teacher decides that voting can solve the problem. The number of students in favor of place A raise their hands, then the number of students in favor of place B raise theirs. The decision is taken by whichever option gets a larger number of raised hands. This process is called voting. This is a case of direct democracy, where every student's opinion was taken to finalize the place. The term grassroots democracy refers to a system that enables and encourages the participation of ordinary citizens, the base of the pyramid we saw in figure 10.4 on page 155. In such a system, the citizens can have a say in decisions which affect them. We will study more features of Indian democracy in the next two chapters and also in later grades. Before we move on, no country can run without governance and government. A modern government has three organs: legislative, executive, and judiciary, which need to work together. The Indian government functions at three levels: center or national, state, and local. Democracy is the overall framework for this system. It functions through elected representatives, both at the state and the national levels. Page 161. Questions, activities and projects. 1. Test yourself. What is the meaning of democracy? What is the difference between direct democracy and representative democracy? 2. Recall the three organs of government. What are their different roles? 3. Why do we need three tiers of government? 4. Project. Many of you will remember the lockdown that took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. Make a list of all the actions that were taken at that time. Which tiers of government were involved in managing the situation? What was the role of each of the organs of government? Page 162. Noodles. Here is a big blank space for you because noodles is our abbreviation for notes and doodles. Chapter 10 ends here.
Exploring Society, India and Beyond. You were just listening to this audiobook. Textbook of Social Science for Class 6. Narration Gaurav Marwaha. Sound recordist Manju Kumari. Assistance in production Muhammad Shamim Khan. Directed and produced by Vimalesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is presented to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.